Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 2021 My Team Career, episode number 24 today for the Hungarian Grand Prix Season 2, round number 8. If you missed the previous episode at Silverstone, then you can go and check it out should you wish to, but I warn you, my pace, well, let's just say I drove the pace of a snail in that race for the first part of that race, in the wet part of the conditions, spoiler alert there. But anyway, moving on to R&D, we're actually going a lot better, certainly a lot better than a certain driver career mode team, but we don't talk about that. We're going to put a major weight reduction on. That's we've got 28% off that, so we might as well put it on. Think about other stuff. There's a few that need Respect 3, so we'll probably invest in that after we've signed a new teammate, which will be in the next week's episode. We're also going to go for a major engine upgrade, but that's going to take a few whiles, won't be coming in until the Italian Grand Prix. I thought about rushing it, but isn't going to do. And then I tried to put on a durability upgrade, but well, I've already got one on there. I'm not really fussed about durability, to be honest. We're also going to repurchase a major front downforce upgrade, which unfortunately failed, so that will come in for next week as well. So we're going to be 4th best on aero by the looks of it by the time we get to Belgium. But we're on the rise, definitely on the rise. We've made a massive step forward ever since Canada. Actually, we're starting to get a load of good upgrades now put on the car. As I say, my aim is to just pull away from the midfield. We will not be catching McLaren, Mercedes or Red Bull by the end of the season. They're just too far away, I think. We might do it unless we get some ultimate upgrades. If we get some ultimate upgrades on the car, then yes, but obviously I've got to upgrade the HQ facilities. I'm not entirely sure how much money we're going to have left once we try and sign a new teammate, which we'll find out next week. Which the teammates, I'll highlight which the drivers I will be going for at the end of this video. But yes, moving to qualifying then. It's dry. It's a dry weekend, I can tell you as well, which is a miracle because I've had 2 races in a row, Singapore in driver career mode, and now my team, Hungary, both have been dry, completely bone dry weekends. Unfortunately, it's Hungary. I have what little pace I did have has been taken away by the new patch, so I'm even slower than I was before around this track, especially in the middle sector where I'm just literally losing about, well, it's even worse. I think it's about, well, over half a second per lap through the middle sector alone. Might need to be a revised setup now, maybe, but I think the majority of it is just purely the fact that I'm just no good against the AI anymore on certain corners through certain tracks anymore, which is a shame because I actually used to be good at Hungary, used to be a favourite hunting ground of mine, and now it's not. Anyway, 4.5 turns up, that's just enough to remain in P16 really on that run. Valtteri Bottas, don't know what he did in Q1. He might have stopped off and gone shopping halfway through that lap because he's qualified last, so he's out in Q1. Usual suspects. Russell is in a San Pellegrino sandwich. Q2, yeah, I didn't have any tyres left. I did 3 runs in Q1 to try and get out, to try and improve my time from 16th, and I still failed. So I went, the first run in Q2 I did on the medium tyres, which of course the medium tyres on F1 2021 have about the pace of a snail. So yes, we've reused one set of soft tyres, which we did 1 lap on with the least worn set. So that's the 1.2 seconds even on a worn set compared to a fresh set of medium tyres. That's just showing the difference in pace. Shouldn't be that big in real life. But anyway, for us, Sainz in his last race, 13th on the grid. I doubt he'll make it in the race because he seems to go backwards these days. For us, 16th on the grid, not that great. We've been out qualified by Williams. We've got a tough race in store. Time for the race.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. Historically a good race for first victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the first time here. We're northeast of Budapest for the race today at the 2.7 mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Ricciardo, Sergio Perez and Leclerc, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Vettel and Mick Schumacher, Stroll, Ocon, Carlos Sainz and Tsunoda, Russell, the owner driver, Luca Giotto and Kimi Raikkonen, Latifi, Mazepin, Bottas and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
It's going to be tough, but we have an ace up our sleeve. The alternative one-stop for mediums to softs. So we're going to be absolutely rapid in that final stint compared to people on old mediums, and most of them probably be on hards at that point. So that's the strategy we're going to aim for. 5 red lights then for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go, and it's an actual mediocre start, not great. We've been pulled away from the cars behind us, but the cars in front of us have pulled away as well. We're going to dive down the inside though at turn 1 of about 6 or 7 cars. The Alpine there are also having a huge dive as well, taking a leaf out of my book there into turn. We're up to P12. We've now got Vettel and Schumacher going side by side, both of those starting the top 10. The Alpine is the one that's jumped them, which is why one of them's outside the top 10, as Schumacher gets crossed up by his friend Sebastian Vettel, and it's so close to being pushed off circuit by Vettel. We're going to side by side through the chicane there, but we were able to keep it there. But we've gone wide on lap 4. Schumacher has another go of us, but we're going to cut Schumacher off again. These tyres don't have great rear traction as well, I'm finding. So already on lap 4, you can see that the rest of the field are sailed off into the sun. Ocon was the one who did the kamikaze dive at turn 1. Jump to lap 8 now. Schumacher's still behind us. We're going to go around the outside of Verstappen. There's a bit of time. We squeeze Verstappen. There's a little bit of contact on argy-bargy, but we're going to squeeze Verstappen and keep him behind us. We don't want, more importantly, we don't really want Verstappen ahead of us, slowing us up on miserable, hard tyres, really. Norris is on a 2-stop there. By the looks of it, the hard tyres are dreadful on this race. So watching Bottas is trying to make a move on Ricciardo round the outside. Can Ricciardo take the position, or will Bottas, who's coming back from the back of the grid, will have the outside, but Ricciardo will retain the position from Bottas in the end. As Max Verstappen now is having another go at the end of this lap. We're going to close him off, and there's slight contact with Verstappen in the white ball here. Obviously simulation damage. Verstappen's coming in for another stop as well. Meanwhile, up in front of us, Norris's pit. Ocon leads, but not for much longer, because Norris goes round the outside of Ocon and moves up into the lead of the race. And he's already sailed off into the sunset, because I'm slowing up everybody now. Actual fact, to be fair though, this moment in time, as Jeff gives us a stupid strategy change, this moment in time, if I had a little bit more pace, I would be laughing right now, because Tsunoda is not challenging him. I'm about half a tenth a lap or so faster than Tsunoda, but Tsunoda eventually comes into the pits on lap 16th, unfortunately. We're going to carry on because the hard tyres are dreadful on this year's game. They're even worse than the mediums, okay? So we might as well just carry on. The softs are the god tier of all tyres on this year's game, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to carry on to... Hamilton is going to try and have a go around the outside. We're going to take the position. We will probably let Hamilton go. Ricciardo actually nits up the inside cheekily and overtakes Hamilton, but Ricciardo's got to make another stop. But we're not really fighting Ricciardo or Hamilton, really. I'm just going to let them past if they want to, but bearing in mind, I'm not going to slow up to let them past. I'm just going to keep on driving. Ricciardo has actually gone past now. We did have a little bit of dirty air forcing me, a little bit of understeer there. Hamilton has another go. Ricciardo then came in the following lap after making that overtake. We're just able to keep the inside really on Hamilton. Perez is going to have a potential have a go on Hamilton. So yes, Norris is half a minute ahead, even really dominating this Grand Prix as Perez is going to have a go on Hamilton. This will be for a net P2. Because obviously Norris is going to be far ahead. Hamilton though keeps there. There's a little bit of contact between Hamilton and Perez there, but Hamilton tames the position. Hamilton comes back at me on lap 23, tries to go down the inside. There's a little bit of tyre banging, and I'm just literally taking the racing line for this corner. Up to turn 4, we have the inside. Hamilton goes wide. I'm just literally going to force him out, take the racing line, normal line. And in the end, is Perez going to be open to the move? We don't know. No, he's going to sit behind up to turn 4. Ocon has made his one stop. There's a big twitch of understeer. That shows the tyres are definitely past this up. Hamilton goes there. We try and squeeze him to show that we're not really getting there. There's a little bit of contact there, I think. So we tried to do what we did with Schumacher and tame that inside left curb. We'll get a replay on board with Hamilton now. There we go, with a little bit of contact, but then Hamilton just decides to go straight on through the corner. He doesn't take the left curb. So, well, I personally think that's a racing incident personally, but anyway, Perez is going to move up to P2. Ocon will move up to P3. Bottas has had a great recovery in the second half of the race. He is P4 now from P21 on the grid. As we're coming into the pits then for a one and only stop, and it's a beautiful 2-second stop, out, in and out. We're going to come out in P14, so I know this is probably not the ideal strategy. The medium tyres would go a lot slower, but we're now on soft tyres and we're going to be catching the cars in front of us. Down the inside of Verstappen, who's caught napping behind Gasly. Next up is Pierre Gasly in the Ferrari, one-time race winner this season already at Canada. And there's a lovely little move round the outside, gives us the inside to the final corner. Next up, DRS on our teammate Carlos Sainz. He shouldn't give us too much of a fight because we're on 2 sets of compound quicker, softer than him, and we're up to P11. Now we've got Stroll and Tsunoda. Can we get front? We set a purple sector 1 down the inside of Stroll, who gives us no space. We have to ride the curb, and Stroll gives me absolutely no space there. We do make it through. Next up is Tsunoda. He's absolutely slow through this corner, and we're going to get him through the middle sector as well, and up into P9. What a move. Next up, Leclerc and Schumacher. Can we get them? I'll have to wait and see as we're moving through the final section. Schumacher and Stroll will actually look to get ahead of Tsunoda. And next up, lap 31. Can we get Schumacher now round the outside into turn 1? Schumacher will have to give some room. He'll have the inside, but we'll of course have the second bite, the DRS, and just be able to pull away up to turn 3. And we're up into P8. And there, as Lando Norris, who has dominated this Grand Prix, is pulling over. Heartbreak for Norris. He is out of the race. Was set to get a hat-trick of wins, and all of a sudden is not going to win this race. We can catch Leclerc in the end, but it will be P7 thanks to Norris's retirement. So some more good points here for our team. Unfortunately, Sainz way outside the top 10 as his usual is. But nevertheless, I would definitely take P7. The strategy was the good way to do it. We didn't have the pace, yeah. Yes, we probably could have got P5 if we were a little bit faster for the middle sector on the medium tyres. But in the end, nevertheless, P7 from 16th on the grid is a very good result. Bottas, of course, driver of the day, a madness to get second from this back row of the grid there. So he was very good. Norris will be absolutely heartbroken. He was absolutely there. Verstappen did a 3-stop and finished in P10. He got fastest lap. I think he was involved in another incident after we overtook him as well. So retain P6, 5 points ahead of Esteban Ocon. Leclerc, Hamilton of course didn't score after his little contact with me today, so he's only scored twice. Hamilton, not had a great season for the 7-time world champion. But here we go then. Sainz's contract is up. The start of the next episode, we'll be looking to sign a new teammate. Now Norris, I kind of want to keep him at McLaren because I think he can challenge Ricciardo in the second half of this season. He's got good focus as well. Gasly and Leclerc also had good focus. They're my main targets. Leclerc has been more consistent, but Gasly's a race winner. Although Gasly hasn't done that great in times. I mean, he's had worse luck than Hamilton at times. So I'm edging for Leclerc as well, especially as this car's only going to get better. But let me know then what you think in the comments below. If you are new around here, then please do get subscribed for weekly F1 2021 My Team Career Mode content. Until the next video then, see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.